the room, book the car, can't forget to book the flight. Early morning, can't do late night. That's just not what I do. When I'm chilling with you, I'm somewhere new, where the water's blue. We only in town for a few nights. Popping that champagne, yeah, we gon' get it right. Big bottles of Ciroc on deck, you know that's me. Baby, what you wanna eat? Baby, I can pay the fee. Hit the casino tonight, maybe we hit it big. She hit the jackpot, all the women yell out, get it big. I fuck with you the long way, so just do what the song say. We got a non-stop flight, baby, we leaving the runway. Some get it, some don't. Some will, some won't. I told her pack light. We got a long flight. When we touch down, baby, gonna be a long night.
All right, man. We got another dope episode of Some Get It, Some Don't. I got another very special guest, my big bro, Mr.
Yes,
Jew,
sir.
Mr. Jew the Barber. That's what some of y'all know him as. Some people know him as Julius. So we got the guy in the building today. So thank you for taking time to be on the podcast, brother.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's my pleasure, my guy.
And before we start, man, we're gonna do a little brand popping out. You know what I'm saying? We
Come
got the
on, let's
Baileys, baby.
go.
You know what I'm saying? We got the Baileys, baby. So
Let's go.
but yeah, man, let's just jump right into it. As I always like to tell people, my guests, is that I like to take people on a journey so we can see how you became the man you are. So let's start back with some early memories for Mr. Julius. We can start probably like kindergarten, maybe a little bit of middle school, but just real early. Just tell us some of the highlights of things you remember of growing up.
Oh wow. Kindergarten.
Yeah.
Hell. Man, that's pretty far back. Hell, I don't remember too much of that myself. You
Well,
know.
that's why I
Um,
said just some things that maybe that kind of stick out to you from being a kid, I should say.
man, I was kind of bad actually when I was a little younger. Um, But I was a good kid overall. I got into a little trouble, no different than most kids. In Lubbock, Texas. But real young, I was bad, and then as I got a little older, I progressed. But it's not really too much that kind of stuck out back that far
Yeah.
when I was coming up. Um, yeah, not too many memories that I can really remember from that far back. I kind of went to a few different elementary schools in Lubbock. I want to say Isles, Harwell. Um, where else did I go? That might be it.
Okay.
Two or three.
So with you saying that, did you like were you living on those sides of towns? Like did y'all move around a lot? Like is that why you kind of went to those different schools or what?
Yeah, basically just because we was just kind of moving around a little bit
Okay.
when I was a little younger. Um, that's how I kind of went to different schools and met a lot of different people. But definitely back in those times, kind of moved around a lot.
Okay. And I guess just so we can provide some more context, what was the family dynamic? Like what was the makeup of your family? You, your brother, your mom, like I mean of course I know, but some of the people don't know.
Yeah, it was mainly my mom. When I was super young, my dad was around. But mainly he kind of split off. I'm not really sure what age, but it was mainly with my mom.
Okay.
Moving around from time to time, place to place, different jobs and stuff like that. So we were kind of all over Lubbock.
Okay. Cool. Well, yeah, like I always just try to, bring people full circle. So we can move on to the Hutch era, you know what I'm saying? Because I think, I think I can remember back then.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So let's talk about that because I know that's when I met you. Obviously my cousin Greg is your age, and I was, always with him. So naturally, when I went to junior high, I seen y'all, so I was like, "Shoot, that's cool. What's up?" So tell us some things you remember or some highlights of your time at Hutch.
Oh, Hutch. Well, I actually went to Dunbar in
Okay.
seventh grade.
Okay.
So I went to Dunbar in seventh grade. Um, and then I went to Hutch eighth grade, like half of eighth grade. And well, I take that back. I went to Alderson, Dunbar, and Hutch.
Oh, see, I never knew that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Okay.
went to all of them.
Okay.
I went to Dunbar seventh grade. Eighth grade, I went to Alderson at the beginning of the year, and the end of the year, I went to Hutch.
Okay.
And I also went to Hutch ninth grade year as well.
And see, that's why I know that because when I went to Hutch, you was at Hutch. So
Right.
before that, like because I'm 2 grades under you, so I wouldn't have known about the seventh and eighth grade because I was still at Parkway.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But even like I guess a little bit before that, I was we was mainly like in the Phoenix apartments.
Okay.
So I kind of grew up in the Phoenix and the bird songs over there across the bridge,
So
where
you
it
an
was,
East Side baby.
yeah, it was really going down over there. Um, a lot of activities, a lot of things going on. And then I went to Dunbar my seventh grade year. Um, but the reason I was actually at Hutch, that's when my mom had went to prison around seventh grade when I was in the seventh grade, maybe a little bit before seventh grade, somewhere in there. And I was kind of house to house, place to place with relatives, different relatives and friends. And I kind of got settled my eighth grade year. I moved in with my Aunt Sandra. And she kind of took me in when my mom got locked up. And that's how I ended up at Hutch,
Okay.
because I live with her in on the west side in Tech Ghetto. I moved with my Aunt Sandra. That's where I kind of got settled at. That's how I ended up at Hutch. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, for Hutch, man, it was some good times. I met a lot of good people there that I'm still cool with to this day. You know what I'm saying? Greg, Drape. Well, actually, I didn't meet Drape until a little bit before high school, but Jay,
Okay.
some people that really know me and my boy Jay, we got real tight uh,
You
when I
talking
was
about
at
Pratt?
Hutch. Say that again.
You talking about Pratt? Jay Pratt?
Yeah, Jay
Yeah.
Pratt.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. That's the
That was
homie
my
too.
guy, man. We was locked in, and that's
Yeah.
actually how I met D was through him, cause that's
Okay.
his
That makes
cousin.
sense. Yeah, I was finna say that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Still my bro though. Still my bro.
Yeah, I seen him last time I was in Lubbock, by the way, at R&B.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I got to catch up with my guy next time I go out that way.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can transition. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. You might surprise me again. You only went to Lubbock High, though, right?
I only went to Lubbock High in high
Okay.
school.
All
That's
right.
it.
Good. All
All
right.
3 years.
So let's talk about Lubbock High. Let's
Yes,
talk
sir.
about football because as like that's when I first knew who you were. And like I was telling people, I looked up to you, to Bear, like because I wanted to play receiver. So let's talk about that. Because for people who don't know, I know y'all know my boy for cutting hair, but the boy was cutting some of that grass too, though.
Come on, man.
So let's talk about
Oh
Lubbock
yeah,
High and some experiences and of course football.
man. I had a blast at Lubbock High. I love high school, man. I love middle school and high school, but I love high school, man. With some great times, some great memories. Met a lot of great people at Lubbock High, man. So the experience, man, is one of those things, as you get older, you kind of wish you could go back. But it was definitely some good times. I was grounded at the time, over there with my aunt. And she did a great job just looking after me and helping raise me. Football, that was my first love. You know, um, that's what I really wanted to try to take all the way. I played receiver and corner. You know, my junior year, um, I started at corner. You know, And then eventually around like I'll say maybe the fifth game of the season, I started playing tight end.
Oh
Um,
dang.
what some people don't know, I played tight end my junior year. So I was killing that tight end. I had almost 1,000 yards receiving in like 5 games. You know, so I was playing both
Linebackers
ways.
didn't have a chance.
No, no, man. Of course, we threw the ball a lot that year. We had one of the best offenses. Actually, I believe we had the number one offense in the district with my boy Bear and Matt
Yeah.
Poores at quarterback. You
Yeah.
know, uh, of course, my boy Draper, he was with us as well. You know, but yeah, I had a blast. My junior year, I did pretty well. So my senior year, I moved to receiver. They moved me to receiver my senior year, so I played both ways. I played receiver and corner my senior year. You know what I'm saying? And hey man, I did my thing. Uh I got
Yeah.
pretty much any award you can think of.
Yeah.
All district both ways, city, South Plains, all them awards you can think of. I got them my senior year.
That's
You
why I said
know.
that's what I remember, being a sophomore. I know I only went to Lubbock High for like 3 weeks, but like literally 3 weeks. But I was like, boy, I gotta get like Jew, boy. That boy was nasty out there, man. I
Hey, it
said,
seemed like it was a little bit longer.
I don't think it. I mean, I don't remember now, but it wasn't long. Like I think maybe a month, maybe, but it wasn't
Yeah.
long at all. I think I went, and then they tried to put your boy on JV. I said, yeah, I might. If I'm play JV, I'm going to Estacado, man. So I went on ahead and
Yeah.
went back to my home school, bro. I said, yeah, y'all got it.
Yeah, man. Say we did our thing though, man. The team we was decent, man. It could have been better. Um, but had Michael Moody over there with us too. Him and Draper used to switch from quarterback and running back. So both of them boys used to do their thing.
And that's another reason why I went, because Moody went. It was supposed to be me, Moody, and Q Lou all go from Hutch to go to Lubbock High.
Hmm.
But Q Lou went to Estacado. Obviously, Moody went to Lubbock High, and he was already getting burned. I was like, yeah, I ain't finna be the only one on JV over here. I'm gonna go to JV with my cousin over there in Estacado.
Yes, sir, man. Oh, Lubbock say, man, we had a blast, man. Them was a good old times. You taking me back.
Yeah.
Yeah, them was the good times, man. But yeah, that was my first love, man. I was able to, get a scholarship. I was getting a lot of looks, but of course, wasn't handling my business with them SAT scores, so I couldn't go Division 1 like I was supposed to. But I ended up getting a scholarship to Cisco Junior College, and was able to play some ball over that way. But overall, I definitely had a good experience, some good times, and everything like that in high school up at Lubbock High, man.
So yeah, I know you kind of mentioned it. What were some, or who were some of the schools that tried to offer you, but as you said, the SAT scores and stuff wasn't there. Like which schools did you probably talk to, or did you go on any visits? Like how was that? What was that process like?
Man, I went to I was getting calls from like Tulsa. Used to talk to them back my junior year. They was really want me to play DB. They was really want me to play corner. You
Okay.
know, but I was getting contacted from several schools, several letters, even schools like A&M, um, Tulsa, who else? Um, man, the hell, I can't even remember. I went on some visits, Eastern New Mexico, and
Okay.
where else did I go?
Did WT reach out?
Yeah, West Texas. You talking about West Texas A&M in
Yeah.
Kingsville?
Okay.
Them. It was a couple schools out in Kansas. Um, NAIA school in Kansas. It was a few people, man. Hell, I can't really remember. It wasn't like super super strong, but
Yeah, but
they
I mean,
was
you still
definitely
got a
reaching
nice little
out.
list though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they was definitely reaching out though for sure.
Okay. And so let's kind of transition into Cisco. Like, how was your time at Cisco? Obviously, coming from Lubbock, moving to Cisco, it's a smaller town. But most of the people who go there, especially probably back then, was out there for sports, I'm sure. Most of the people. But what was your time like in Cisco?
Cisco was cool. It was a great experience, just to get away from family, be on your own. It was a smaller town. Everything closed at about like 10 o'clock. You know, it was like one grocery store. About two convenience stores. But all in all, it was a pretty good school. Pretty cool experience. Definitely a smaller town than where we from.
Yeah.
But it was a good experience, man. I was able to learn a lot about myself. Also, get to play the sport that I love. When I first got there, I was kind of homesick, so I used to want to go home all the damn time. I wasn't really taking it serious like I wanted to, like I should have, working out and everything. But by that next year, I kind of dialed in, and realized I need to, take things serious. So I started working out more and everything like that. The first year I was playing around, BSing. The second year I locked in. That's when I really just was able to start. I became a starter at receiver, so I got plenty of playing time. I was always on the field, and I did pretty good. I did pretty well. Had some touchdowns, um, some nice yards. I can't remember how many yards I ended up with that last season, but I did pretty good though, bro. I did pretty good once I settled in and locked in and everything like that. I did pretty well.
Yeah, that's what I
Um,
was gonna say. It seemed like once you kind of got locked in and was focused, you did, what I'm saying, the work gonna show, as they say. As I see my boy Wag be saying, the work gonna show.
yeah, the
So
work is
once you
gonna
locked
show,
in,
man.
hey, it was all good at that point.
Yeah, and I got some offers. I got some schools reaching out to me. Some schools in Kansas, ACU. They was trying to recruit me. That's where really was supposed to have been at ACU. But I had a couple of schools out in Kansas, a couple of NAIA schools that was recruiting me as well. But I eventually end up moving out to Abilene. Coach Cartel, one of the coaches at ACU, was recruiting me. He used to be at all my games, and he knew Draper. You know, I actually met him. Um, in high school when we were in high school, and he came and did a visit at to visit Draper, and I was with him. So I met Coach Carthel back in high school, so he kind of remembered me from then, and also once Draper went out there, so he used to come to my games and stuff all the time, and he was definitely highly recruiting me, but I just wasn't locked in on my grades and, handling my business like I should have, man. So I never actually played at ACU. You know, um, I went to Hardin Simmons for a little bit, um, and I was
Good
supposed to
old
play with them,
HSU.
but never played with them. So,
Bruh.
man, after I left Cisco, my career was really over.
Yeah, it was
I
like
never just locked in like I should have. You know, but it was, hey, it was good times.
yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. It's all about the experiences, though. I'm sure you had some dope experiences in Cisco and Abilene. Obviously going to ACU for a little bit, Hardin Simmons or whatever. Like being in Abilene is just different for people who've never lived in Abilene. It's a cool town. It's a
Mhm.
small, it's like the Bible Belt, so it's a church on every corner. But I mean, Abilene a vibe, man. I liked Abilene the one year that I was there too.
Yeah, hey, say we was in Abilene on that Judge Ely Boulevard, man.
Man, Judge Ely, baby.
Me and Draper ended up roommating, and I met some good guys out that way, man. But it was the experience more than anything. I think, like I try to tell people, what that really showed me is that, like, you know, talent only takes you so far. You know, it'll get you a scholarship, it can get you to college, but it's the other things that you do that really takes you over that level. Hard work, dedication, discipline, things like that. I wasn't able to develop at that young age. You know, so I told myself, when that didn't work out, whatever I did next in life, I was gonna try to do it to the best of my abilities. You know, so that was definitely a good learning experience for me right there.
But see, I think that what you said was a mouthful. That the thing didn't work, but it did teach you something though. So you
Right.
still got something out of it. Most people look at it like, man, as you said earlier, that was supposed to be your ticket out. So just think
Right.
about some of those people who feel that way and they devote everything into it and it don't work out. They be crushed. You know
For
what I'm saying?
sure.
So the fact that you was able to take some positive from that and transition it to what we'll get to later, but to transition into something to where it's like, okay, this didn't work, but the next time I know what to do and how to do it, and I'm gonna go full throttle at it.
For sure, man. For sure. Everything now in life is learning experiences, man. I feel like you can take something positive out of anything you go through. You can find some positive out of anything you go through. It's always learning experiences. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I agree
Sure.
100%. So, okay, after we go from Abilene, like where does life take you next? Because obviously you said you never really played football after Cisco. You tried the ACU, you tried the Hardin Simmons. So what was the next thing for Jew?
Man, after so Cisco, then I moved to Abilene for a little while. Supposed to play football, ACU, Hardin Simmons, that didn't work. After that, I moved to Arlington. I moved to Arlington, Texas. Um, and this is actually where I've been since then. I was like 21 or so when I moved out here. You
Okay.
know, I moved out here with one of my, a lady friend I had back at the time, and
That's so funny
uh
because I just had Berto on the podcast the other day, and that's the same reason why he moved out there too.
yeah, yeah. You just never know, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I met her in college and I kind of moved out. What made me take that leap to move out here also was my aunt Sandra, um who I lived with when, from middle school up until a little bit before I graduated high school because my mom didn't get out of prison to like a little bit before I graduated high school.
Okay.
So that same aunt, when I moved out this way, is what kind of gave me that security of knowing, like, hey, if all else fails, my aunt is here. You know what I mean? Because she lived in Arlington. She's a nurse. She's a registered nurse, and she had been here for a few years. Um, so I knew, hey, if all else fails, my aunt is here you know, and that's what helped me kind of go ahead and make that move. And the crazy thing is I actually end up needing her. I actually end up needing her. Me and my friend, we, things didn't work out with us, so I end up moving in with her, for a few months until I got my own place, and I pretty much just been out here living on my own since then. You know since that time. And
Oh.
go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, damn, that's crazy. Like, I didn't realize that part of your life was like that. So
Right.
I'm just over here learning.
Mhm. Yeah, man. It's crazy how certain things unfold. Um, but yeah, I've been out here since I was like 21 years old. And I haven't lived in Lubbock since I graduated high school.
Well, that's two.
So,
That's one thing that we share. I haven't lived in Lubbock since I was 17.
see, hey, it's crazy, but home is still in me. I still
Yep.
try to go home and, I represent and everything, but man, I ain't lived in Lubbock since high school. Once I left, got that scholarship, I've been gone ever since, you
Yeah.
know?
Like, I mean, I was thinking about it. I went home for summer times or for the break, but as
Right.
far as living in Lubbock, Not since I was 17.
Man, it's crazy. That's crazy.
20,
But yeah,
23 years, man. 23 years.
yeah. I've been out here for a while, man. For a long time.
That's a blessing.
Man.
But we got to get to the elephant in the room. So,
Okay.
when did you start cutting hair? How was what did you have a job when you moved to Dallas? Were you cutting hair? Like, let's talk about when did it start and what you were doing when you first moved to Arlington.
Well, man, I started cutting hair when I was like 15 years old, bro.
Okay.
Um, back in Lubbock, some of my little cousins, they mom and them, she didn't really care who cut their hair. They was my guinea pigs. She had 3 kids, my cousin Bobo and them. And I started with them. I started cutting their hair. Um, then, my brother and a few of my boys, and in high school, I was cutting some of the cats on the team, some of my homeboys. I started cutting a few people there, and it transitioned over to college. So when I got to college, in Cisco, um, that was like a way for me to make extra money. So I'm cutting the football players, I'm cutting the basketball players, you know, shit, whoever wanted to cut, the coaches, some of the coaches
Yeah.
was coming to me, you
Hey,
know.
whoever need a cut,
So
I
I
got
was
you.
I was self-taught, I taught myself how to cut, just trial and error, over the years. Um, just learning from my mistakes. So it kind of started with that. And then once I moved to Arlington, I I really wasn't cutting hair that much at first when I got out this way, and then eventually I got into it. I started back cutting a little bit, just some of the people around that I knew. Um, I started working, so some of the people that I was working with, I had a few different little jobs and things like that. So I was cutting, some of the work people I work with and everything like that. And it wasn't really until I had my daughter and everything where I really have to kind of lock in, like, man, okay, like, what are you really going to do? What do you want to do with yourself? You know, and I was tired of working, you know. So I remember I was working for Wells Fargo, and man, I just hated that job. I hated that job, bro. Like, it was cool at first. I made good money, but I wasn't able to move around like I wanted to. I missed some funerals. I remember, when my granny passed away, they wouldn't even let me off to go see my granny, you
Oh,
know. So I had to make some decisions, man. And plus with my daughter, I had to really evaluate my life and try to see what I wanted to do with myself. And I just went ahead and locked in. I got myself fired. We was on a point system, at the job. Anybody that's familiar with points systems, you can cause yourself to get fired. So I kind of did it on purpose. It worked out because I was able to like get financial aid. I mean, not financial aid, but unemployment.
oh yeah,
I
yeah,
was able to
yeah.
get unemployment while I wasn't working, and while I was going to school, I was getting that unemployment. So plus I was cutting hair, on the side. So a lot of people don't know, man. It was really a journey when I was even going to school. One day I just got up and I drove out to Dallas, school somebody told me about, which was Texas Barber College. I drove out there. That same day I went, I just signed myself up. You know what I mean? And I was locked
Man.
in. That's why I tell people sometimes, like, man, sometimes you just gotta go and just go sign yourself up. Because once you in there, you locked in, and I made that uh um I made that move, man. Once I signed myself up, I'm signed up now, but people don't realize, man, I had to get up and drive from Arlington to Dallas every day early in the morning and sitting in traffic sometimes an hour there, hour back, you know what I mean? Just getting home, driving 30, 45 minutes to the school in Dallas from Arlington every day. So it was a journey. Like, you really got to be locked in and dedicated to do that and have some kind of discipline to do that, you know. But that's where it started at, man. I just went on and locked in, went to school, and got my L's. I was serious about it, so it didn't take me nothing but a little bit over a year. Um, I learned a little bit. I learned the uh, um, how can I say this? Because I by the time I went to school, I knew what I was doing. I was already cutting. You know, I
Yeah.
already pretty much knew what I was doing. I was self-taught, but I learned the science of cutting hair. And everything that goes with it, the book work, the disinfection, sanitation, things like that. Um, that's what kind of helped me out a little bit more in the science of just barbering in itself, and it helped propel me to another level.
And that's what I was gonna say. Sound like you just kind of learned like the little nuances of cutting, but it also helped you put that like what we say in the academic world. You put those credentials behind your name, them letters. With you having that paper, okay, boom. Like now I just showed you. I know what I'm doing, but I also have the education behind it, and I put the hours in. So now I'm really a professional at it now.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it was one of them things, man, where I wasn't in a rush to do it. I think it's important, when you're young to be able to see people that look like you um doing great things on a professional level, so you can have somebody like. So when I came up cutting hair, like, it was guys that I knew that was cutting hair in Lubbock, but I didn't really see the value in cutting hair. I didn't, I'm not saying nobody wasn't doing well. I don't know everybody's situations, but I didn't really have very many people that I was looking at seeing that was, that made me just want to be a barber like that, back home. I think it was some very talented guys that was cutting their hair around there. T El Paso and some of them guys, they were very talented and good at cutting hair. And I'm not taking anything away from them, but it wasn't too many people that just made me want to be a barber. And some of those guys were doing other things um, other than cutting hair, so they probably just wasn't putting the time in um, that they wanted or that was required to really lock in on cutting hair. So I didn't really see the benefit of it, is what I'm saying,
Hmm.
of being a barber. Once I came out here, one of my cousins, he's a barber, and he was doing pretty well. I started hanging out around there, the shops and stuff with him, and just seeing how some of those guys were doing pretty good cutting hair, and it was like, okay, I need to go ahead and and get serious with this. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I definitely think it's important, for younger men to see people that look like them doing great things. You know what I'm saying? Um, it just makes things sound more believable.
And I
You
think
know,
me and my boy was talking about this, and you just alluded to it as well. When you can see people that look like you, and it's even better when it's people that you know, and you can
right,
actually talk to and say, "Hey, Jew, like how much money you make cutting hair?" Or you see them and you know that they not hustling, they really doing barbering, and you see them with a nice house, a nice car, a nice family. Because like you said, if I see people cutting hair, but I don't really see nothing. I'm like, I don't think I can live off that. You know what I'm saying? But
right,
when you see it, or like you said, you around your cousin, you in the shops, and you actually seeing what's going on, now you like, oh, that can be me. Because I think
right,
that's what happened with a lot of us growing up in our era. Is most of the people that we saw that really had money sold drugs. You know what
right,
I'm saying? Like it wasn't nobody that worked hard, that earned an honest income, that had a nice car, a nice house. Most of the people worked forever, probably finally started getting money when they was 50, 60. But we never seen people in their 20s, early 30s that really had money and did these things off a job. So I think you said a mouthful once again with that. I think that's very key for our culture. And the good thing is now we have social media, whether or not people faking or not, at least people can see other people that look like them driving Maybachs, owning businesses, taking trips. So like I said, and who knows if they're really scamming or not, But that's
Right.
a discussion for another day. But at least we have something to aspire to be.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. That the people need to see him. That's why I tell my boy Draper all the time. Like it's amazing. Like I love what you're doing, brother, because them kids get to see you and they get to see what you're doing, how you move, and can talk to you, and they look like if they look like you, it make things sound just more believable, more obtainable. You
Yep.
know, so they definitely need to see that, man, for sure.
Man, it's just so crazy to see like all of us the way that we doing different things, and like you said, you just mentioned Draper. I think that's so cool too to see somebody. His story is just phenomenal too, going through what he went through, but the fact that he was working on the job doing this similar things to this, and was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this on my own, and he then took off. It's kind of like
Mhm.
what you said. Sometimes you just gotta do it. You gotta sign
Right,
yourself up. You gotta take the risk because that's just what life is about. If you want to do more, but you got to lock in and you got to believe in yourself to do those things too. So,
for
kudos to both
sure.
of y'all for taking that step to say, man, I'm just gonna drive to Dallas and sign up. And something else you said that I want to comment on is the fact that you was willing to sacrifice those hours in traffic, driving 45 minutes. A lot of people will be like, man, forget this, I ain't doing this.
I'm
But
done with
you,
it.
but you told yourself back in the day, if I ever do something, I'm gonna give it my all. But you probably also saw like I'm gonna sacrifice right now for later.
Absolutely, man, for sure.
And it always helps when you have a daughter or a kid, and for so
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
when you have somebody else depending on you, it's like shit. I ain't got no choice. You know what I'm saying? It gotta
Hey,
work.
hey, that's that motivation right there. That's why, I got my daughter right here on my arm, and part of the reason for that was this is my favorite picture of her. But it also, I can look at this every day and this is my motivation. This is what reminds me like, hey, get your ass up. It's time to go
Yeah,
get it. You know what I'm
yeah. Keep
saying?
going, baby. Keep going.
For sure, man. You got to have some kind of motivation, man, just
You
to get
got to.
up every day and lock in on whatever you're trying to do.
And we gonna get to the end of Jew and what we got going on right now. But I always like to have this moment to talk about adversity, challenges, things like that. Because a lot of times, people kind of meet you where you at now. They don't know
Mhm.
what you had to go through and all that. But also going back to what you said, it's good when people can see it or hear it. Like, oh damn, this little moment that I'm in right now is not as bad. This person was in the same moment and made it. So, can you talk about some of the challenges that you faced on this journey, or just some setbacks that you may have faced?
Man, it's so many.
That's even
Man,
better. You can just pick one or two, or just one that kind of really thought you was down and you kind of overcame. Just something like that.
and I mean, even like I was saying with just the starting out in the barbering game in the school, you know, that took a lot then, because I wasn't making much money on unemployment, you know. I had to get it how I live, I might have made it look a certain way, but hey, it was some rough times during that time, man. Just
Made it look
just trying to
good,
get
baby.
right. It's tough being on your own, coming from where we from and just, learning how to manage money and things like that, having to be able to cook and pay bills and budget, you know, and things like that, that those are all just learning experiences. You know what I'm saying? And another thing I know you can relate to is just being on your own, being away from family, you know, just sometimes you can just feel alone. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Cause it's just me. So, that's why sometimes I got to go back home and stay in tune with my roots and where I came from. Because every time I go home, I just get remotivated. You know what I mean? Just seeing some of my people and you know some of the things that we grew up and around, and some of the things we experiences. it just motivates you, to keep going. But man, it's always gonna be adversity and obstacles and things that you have to go through. You know, learning how to build credit, you know, fix your credit, becoming a man, man, I can't. It's so many things. I can't think of just
But that's
anything
good, and that's what I
specific,
wanted
man.
to
But
highlight as well. The fact that it wasn't just one challenge, one hurdle, one
right,
setback. That there was multiple things that you had to overcome to get to where you at. But the key thing is, you said, with you having your daughter on your arm, the self motivation you have as well is you always knew to just keep going though, because you could have
right.
easily just stopped and was like, "Nah, I'm good. This what it is. What it is." But you decided to make a conscious effort to do that for yourself, for your daughter, and for your future. So, like I said, I commend you for that, because a lot of people would have folded a long time ago.
Oh man, I mean that was another obstacle in itself. Just, I mean, dealing with my daughter, with her mom. We were young, um, and we wasn't getting along well. You know, so it was a lot of trials and tribulations and things that we had to go through. We had to grow up. I can't just point the finger at her. I had some part in that too.
Yeah,
All that arguing and different things like that. So it's always different obstacles and things. Now we older, we can speak like adults. We get along well, and do what we got to do, whatever's best for our daughter. But
yep,
you know, that was just another obstacle in itself. You know, um, learning how to, once you have that seed, it's not just about you, right? So even though I'm grinding and I'm working, how do I find balance with just spending time with my daughter, and things like that. I'm not one to um post pictures and a bunch of videos and stuff on social media, but best believe I'm very active in my daughter's life.
yeah,
She's with me now. She in her room now. You know, I see her every week, every other day. You know what I mean? And it's been that way since she was born. I've never not been there. You know, and she's part of the reason that it kind of helped balance my life out. Um, and so I'm not just running around doing this and that. You know what I mean? I have my set days. Like no matter what, cut that schedule off and spend some time with your baby. You know what I mean? And it's at a point where she not gonna let me not. When it's her day, best believe. Hey, she calling
Daddy,
or
what we doing?
texting daddy. Hey, where you at? You coming to get me, right? I don't give a damn if I'm stuck in the shop late. Hey, come get me. You know what I mean? Because I developed that relationship and that rapport with my daughter to where she's used to me being there. She's used to me being around. So uh, it's important that I just have that balance. You know what I mean, in life with her. So man, that's my baby right there. That's my motivation right there, boy.
As it should be. You know what I'm saying? So I most definitely commend you on that for sure. And I'm glad
Oh,
you took
yeah,
the time to highlight the relationship you have with your daughter, because that's another thing, excuse me, that we need to see as men, as black men. The relationship people have with their kids, because it's not a lot of people that have those fathers in their lives, and people they can look up to. So that's I commend you again on that.
for sure, man. And I encourage any of them brothers, man. Hey, if you're not, it's never too late to try to build that bond and that relationship with your child. Uh, no matter what. Phone get a little dead, but it's important, to build that relationship with your kids, man. If you got one, man, hey, sometimes you just got to grow up and learn how to communicate more effectively with their mom or whatever, and just try to be there. Do what you can. Take it day for day.
Yeah, and I think that's the most important thing. Two most important things is to understand that no matter what relationship you and the mom have, it's all about the kid.
Right.
But in the same token is that, as you said, you got to be present. You know, sometimes you may not be financially able to do as much as you would like to do or she would like you to do, but do your best to be present. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I can commend Jenna, which is my daughter's mom. Like she just always said, even if you're struggling or if you ain't got it or whatever, like do what you can, but always be present. And you
Right.
know, like I go there, my daughter have a 15-minute presentation. I drive an hour and 30 minutes to watch it, 15 minutes and come back to work. So, but
Right.
my thing is, I'm gonna always be present because that's the one thing she ain't gonna remember. Oh, daddy didn't buy me the best of toys or this toy. She gonna like, daddy was there though. Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? I always told myself, I'm gonna be there no matter if I'm able to, I'm gonna be there. So,
For
so
sure.
yeah, that being present is big time.
Definitely, man. Them moments, man, that's what they remember. Those are the things that they treasure, man. Them moments, just you being around. So it may only been 15 minutes, but that 15 minutes meant everything just for her to see you. You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? So I commend you for that, you
No,
know.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I told myself I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I told my job, hey, my daughter got something. Of course, I'm gonna be respectful of time and
Oh
put it
yeah,
in a respectable time. But I gotta go. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go pull up on my daughter, man. So yeah.
for sure, man.
So I
Hey,
got
I'm the
two other
same
things that
way.
I wanted to touch on. The first one is something that I think I hold dear to myself because, as most people know, like my Bay Block boys and everything, like we've been knowing each other for 40 years now. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to touch on like our friend group because I think we got one of the dopest friend groups. As I said earlier, everybody kind of doing something, even if we're not doing it to the highest level. Like somebody in the group is doing something major enough to where everybody can benefit as far as the motivation, as far as seeing it, being able to talk to people. So just I want to just touch on that for a split second and just tell me what your thoughts is on the friend group on the squad.
Man, say love the squad, man. Everybody in it, man. Like you say, everybody is has their own thing going on. That's what I love about. I mean, I love the fact that we all just like, man. Everybody is just so genuine. All the brothers, like we truly are happy for one another. We've seen ups and downs from each other. We all come from the same place. We understand that it's gonna be some rough times for hell, all of us. We all done had our times, our seasons, but
Mm-hmm.
no matter what, we stick together. Um, we try to travel, spend time with each other sometimes, every year, we try to set up little gatherings and travel, um, and everything like that, man. But I got nothing but love and respect for all my brothers, man. I love what everybody doing. I love how everybody is just, happy, like genuinely happy for everybody when good things, man, when something good happened to you or A Lou or D or Rich, like I'm genuinely happy for y'all, because I know where y'all came from. I know some of the obstacles and things that y'all went through and experienced. So, man, I love to see it. And instead of hating, it's like it's motivation. Like, man, you did okay. That's what's up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Keep
it's
me
like okay,
going.
what can I
You
do
know,
now?
hey man, send the good news in the group. We got group chats, man. We chat with each other all the time. Sometimes we'll hop on, Zoom calls. We don't not as often as probably we should or could, but you know what I mean. We try to communicate and just be there for each other, in any way we can. If somebody, doing bad or and need a little help or assistance, hey, we ain't gotta broadcast nothing. Hey man, I got you. If I got you, hey,
Yep.
and I know I will get the same in return. You know what I'm saying? And it's not always about financial, right? Like we can all reach out to each other and just talk about whatever, or just having the fact of knowing that, hey man, if I need so and so, I can call him up, no judgment. I ain't gotta worry about him blasting my business or none of that. Like, you know what I mean? You can just feel
Yeah.
secure with talking to anybody, man. So hey man, a win for anybody that I know, hey, for them it's a win for me too. You know what I'm saying? I feel like
Yep.
I'm winning, you know. But yeah, man, it's nothing but love, um, and everything like that with all my brothers, man. You know, hell, you got me out my shell. I don't even do interviews, you know what I'm saying? I don't really too much, get on the video chats or nothing like that. But hey, I say, man, when my brother asked me, I gotta get on it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So
And I
it's all
appreciate
love,
you. I
man. You know,
appreciate it.
I want to do whatever I can to support whatever you got going on. You know, that's another thing. We support each other. You know what I'm saying? Well, whatever, if it's a business venture, whatever events, whatever, like we just try to support and look out for each other, man. So I feel like we got one of the dopest groups, as well. You know what I'm saying? Even though some of us are hundreds of thousands of miles away, man, hey, we still find a way to communicate with each other, you know. So
And I wanted to
it's
elaborate
nothing
on
but
something that you
love, man.
said. I wanted to elaborate on the thing that you said last, that we support each other. And when we say that, we don't ask for discounts. We don't
Right,
say, oh, I'm gonna pay you later. Like if Jew cut her and he say it's $50, there you go 50. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Like it's been many a times we go on a trip. I'm getting a last minute cut. That's what he charged for a last minute cut. I don't say, ah man, let me get it for 20. I just
right.
get a cut. You know what I'm saying? If it's fifty
Hell
dollars, I'm
no.
supporting him. So
Right.
I like the fact that you said that, but I wanted to make sure that I elaborated on that because some
Mhm.
people think that when you homies, you brothers or whatever, you supposed to get a discount. And it's like, bro,
Right.
it's a business. Like I'm gonna support his business. I don't need a handout. You know what I'm saying?
For
So,
sure.
so I wanted to make sure I elaborated on
Yeah,
that.
and they need to hear that though, you know.
Yeah,
It ain't
yeah,
about no discount, man. Support if you're gonna support out of love. Hey man, I
correct.
want to see you be great. I want to see you go on and do great. What can I do to support this cause, whatever you got going? You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's about, man. You know, you ain't gotta be hating or trying to get over or get no discount, man. Support that person.
Yeah, just support him.
Yeah, man.
So coming up to the last thing that I wanted to touch on, which we touched on it earlier, but I wanted to come full circle to kind of highlight like what you're doing now, anything that we can be expecting. Just kind of, I just wanted you to come full circle with growing up on the east side, the football thing, going cutting a little bit to making that move to say, forget it, I'm just gonna do it. Your daughter, like the ups and downs, and now here we are. So I just wanted you to kind of bring us full circle with that.
Yeah, so man, I think I've been cutting now a little bit over 10 years as a barber. Thank God, man, I've been blessed. These hands bless me. Uh
Yeah, when y'all
you
see
know,
them fresh cuts, it's really, I mean, three people
hey,
cut my hair, but it's really only two. My boy Brandon and my boy Jew.
oh
So
yeah, my boy Brandon. Yes, sir. But yeah, man, I've been blessed, man. Thank God, I've been able to do well, at cutting hair. I don't have no complaints. My schedule, I'm booked every single day. Um, and it's been consistent, you know, for I mean 8 years, not 10 years plus, like, you know what I mean? Definitely over 8 years plus, like I've been pretty successful. I've been able to do well. Um, I've been able to take care of myself, my daughter, and I have no complaints, man. I wake up every day, my schedule is booked every single day. And I mean, it's been consistent like that for years. Every single day, all I have to do is get up and go do what I do. So it's a blessing, man. I've been able to do, pretty well. I don't have any complaints. Um, I was able to um, I'll say about 3 years ago, I started my own product line with my products. There we go, right there. That's actually my first one, so that's real special to me. You know, that's my first product that I ever put out. My Bailey's Beard Detangler, softener and detangler. That was my first product. After that, I did a beard oil.
hold on, keep
Um,
going, keep going.
Shout out to my boy Brandon Childers. That's my plug on the beard oil. And that was my second product that I put out. And after I come on now, after I did the beard oil right on time, we came out with the Bailey's hair moisturizer. And of course, Bailey's, that's my daughter name, and that's where I got the name, everything um came from, which is my daughter. So I started my company, Bailey's, from her. And that's the last product I did right there with the Bailey's moisturizer. I would say that one performs the best.
Yeah, it's legit.
I do pretty well with that one. I looked up and got that one pretty right with the smell and just everything. So I'm just trying to continue to build. I got do a little better with my marketing and things like that. But I mean, I'm just blessed to have my own products. I was cutting, and people always ask all the time tips, different products, and certain things to use. So I was like, man, it's only right for me to build and start my own product line.
Yep.
I'm actually working on a shampoo and a conditioner as well. Just working on some tweaks with my shampoo. My conditioner is pretty much done. I like the consistency and everything with that. I got the labels and the whole nine with that. So you can you all can definitely look forward to seeing those two become available pretty soon as well. I've been doing a lot of work on those, just getting everything right and how I wanted it. And even with those products, a lot of people don't know just the work and everything that comes with just putting something out. The time that you work for years on certain things just to kind of get them how you want it. Get the consistency, the labels, the ingredients, and everything like that. It's a process within itself. So it's a lot of work that's put in behind the scenes that people don't see, that they don't know. Even when it comes to my barbering career, um a lot of people be asking like, man, how did you get all those people? How did you get where you was at? But people don't know, man. When I first started working, I was at the Parks Mall in Arlington. um Man, I worked 7 days a week for probably about 3 years straight.
Dang.
You know what I mean? Just grinding, you know what I mean? Just grinding, just staying locked in, staying disciplined to what I wanted. Cause I said, I had a vision for myself and I put the work in, and what people don't realize is it takes work to get to where you want to be. But at the same time, once you get that, um, it still requires work to be able to maintain and hold on to whatever you got, right? Because you can build something, but you have to stay consistent. You have to be available. Those are two of the key things that I think um, in this career that you have to be. Have to be consistent and you have to be available. And I just, I put a lot of work and time in my craft um, to get to where I'm at now. So people don't see the work that's done behind the scenes, to get to where you want to be. A lot of early mornings and long nights. But, I'm just blessed to be where I'm at, you know, and to achieve some of the things that I've been able to achieve in my career, in my field. I've been able to meet a lot of great people, a lot of professional people. I have millionaires on my clientele list, that I service. So, hey, man, it's a blessing coming from where I'm from to be able to just meet some of the people that I've been able to meet. Man, I'm just grateful, you know. But I still continue, no matter what, to get up every day and put just grind to maintain what I got, you know. So I've been able to meet some super dope people. You know what I'm saying? And it's I just thank God for that.
Yeah, but I think the best thing that stood out to me is the fact you said it takes hard work to get to where you want to get
Mhm.
to, but also once you get there, it's even more work. You know, a
Man,
lot of people think once you make it or get to whatever you feel like is making it or success that it stops. No, you got to keep going. You know what I'm saying? Because there's always more levels that you can get to. So yeah, you got to keep grinding, baby. You got to keep grinding.
hey man, you gotta stay on it. The grind does not stop, man.
No, it does not
The
stop at
grind not
all.
stop, man. I be grateful just for the small things. I be really like, man, I'm so grateful, man, to be able to meet and talk to some of the people. Like I got millionaires that come sit in my chair, and it's like, I'm kind of like a counselor in a sense and different things like that because I can just talk to people and pick their brain on different things so I can network and, just learn a lot. I had a former Super Bowl guy played in the Super Bowl, you know, played in the NFL that I cut today. You know what I mean? And we can
Crazy.
just, we can just chop bread and just speak on various topics and different things like that. So, I'd be just as grateful as they be, to get my services to just have the opportunity, to be able to speak to them and talk to them and service them at the same time, you know. So man, I done
All
seen
because you
and
blessed
met some dope
with them
people.
cuts.
Yeah, man. Like a lot of people I was able to cut I've even cut like uh, um one of Larry Hoover's lawyers.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I seen, what was going on with him. And yo, a brother that I met and cut up one of old Larry Hoover's lawyers too, man. So, man, several professional people, man, a few
Did you cut what was
celebrities.
it, Teddy Riley?
Teddy Riley,
Yeah, yeah, I remember
yeah,
that. Yeah, that was dope too.
several times, that's my guy, good brother. Yeah, old Teddy. Yeah, so man, I've been blessed to meet some super dope people, man. It's a blessing, man. And I love what I do, I'm able to get up and do something that I enjoy doing every day. No complaints. I'm on my own schedule, my own time frame, running my own business, so it's been a blessing. And, I'm just ready for the next journey, um, that's coming up, you know. So, hey man, I'm staying on it.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know.
We'll let them see what that next journey is. We don't have to, have no breaking news or nothing today on the pod, but yeah, yeah, they'll see.
Yeah, yeah, we got some. We definitely got some things that we working on, man.
Yeah, yeah,
You
they'll
know,
see. They'll
that's really
see.
already in the works, but
Yeah, that's
hey,
why I said they'll see.
yes, sir. I'm blessed, man. I'm grateful, you know, and all of that, man. But I'm staying locked in and focused at the same time, so um I'm grateful to have dope people in my life like you and my brothers and my family, man, and people that just support what I got going on. I try to support them any way I can, and yeah, man, through all the ups and the downs, um, just staying positive, you know, no matter what obstacles are thrown my way because with life, man, you're gonna be thrown all kind of obstacles and things that's in your way, but you just can't let none of that deter you from, where you're trying to be,
You
you
can't.
know.
Did that mug stop? Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry, that mug. My computer in the back made a noise. I thought it was the phone.
Oh, okay, okay.
But yeah, man, brother. I once again I wanted to thank you for making time to get on the pod. As you said, you had a busy day. You still making time for your daughter, but you made time for your bro and got on the pod. You open, as you said, you don't normally do the interview, so I
Thanks,
appreciate you for
man.
doing the pod with me. So I can say
Sure.
I'm one of the first, or one of the first, or the first, I should say, to get my boy on the pod. So I sure appreciate you for making time. I hope people can listen to this and understand that life is a journey. and it's not just overnight success. People put in a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of emotions. A lot of people have to play a part. So I hope that they understand that part of your journey and understand that it is people that look like us that are successful, doing it the legal way, putting in the time, putting in the hours, and just loving what they do. So hopefully that's the message that was clear today during the podcast. So I hope a lot of people get that from this interview today.
Absolutely, for sure. I hope so as well, man. This is just a small, a brief summary,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
of some of the things that transpired. But it's definitely been a journey, man. But hey, I wouldn't have it any other way, man. We grateful for the good and the bad times, man. You know,
Yeah, man, you got to take the good with the bad, man. It's all part of the journey and the plan, and it'll make you appreciate it even more when you finally get the success that you want, or even more that God has in store for you. So I think it's just all part of it. So it's all good.
absolutely, man. And thank you as well. This my first interview, really.
Hey, hey, that's what I'm talking
First,
about, baby.
hey, but
Got it on the
hey,
sword, get it some don't podcast, baby. We got
come on,
it.
man. Hey, I gotta show love for my bro, man. And this,
Man, I
it works
appreciate
for
it.
me as well. It opens me up a little bit. I gotta open up a little bit more. So, man, I appreciate you as well. I'm honored to be on here.
Hey, thank you.
Hey,
Thank you,
it's an
man.
honor. You know what I'm saying?
Like I told me before a while, I was gonna really stop because I had like some stuff lined up. People flaked on me, but as you said, I was like, man, I ain't gonna stop. I'm just gonna take a different approach. So,
There you
hey,
go, man.
so
No,
I,
no,
I'm
no
I'm
matter
locked
what.
in, baby. I had two this week.
Come on, man. Let's go, man. No, ain't no stopping, man.
No, we
I'm
ain't
loving it.
stopping,
And I
baby.
haven't seen every single episode, but I've seen a few, man. And I think it's dope. I like what you're doing. I think you don't need to stop. Just continue to build and continue to grow, And that's what it's about. You're allowing people to get a little more insight on people's lives and journeys. And people need to know and see that.
Yep.
Um, so I'm honored, I'm honored to be here.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I appreciate you for making time. Thank you for being an inspiration to not only me but other people. I'm sure people who gonna watch this, you're inspiration too, or people who probably was wondering about who you are. They're gonna get a little bit more information, as you said, just a little ski taste, not the whole thing, but they're
Oh,
gonna get
that
some key information to understand who Jew is. And hey, we're just gonna keep motivating and keep being and keep doing what's right and keep being blessed, brother.
thank you, brother. I appreciate you. It's
Well,
all
all right,
love.
man.
You already know, man.
Well, you enjoy your night, man, and I once again I appreciate it, brother.
For sure, my guy.
All right,
All right, brother.
charge that phone up.
Man, say we barely made it.
All right.
All right, boy. Yeah.